Hello everyone, this is Creepy Applause, and for today's video I am starting a series called UFO Files, where we talk about UFO sightings, alien encounters and everything out of this world. Welcome, I hope you enjoy the video. I was vacationing on Plum Island one summer, probably around 2012 to 2013. My family noticed a star-like thing in the sky and decided to look at it through a telescope since it was still light outside and it seemed strange. This thing literally had tiny black spots crawling all over it and was only slightly moving. We thought it might be a planet, but the fact that something was crawling and moving all over it didn't make sense. My brother and dad got in the car to try and get a closer look and witnessed something from the object literally land into some bushes far away, and it was still glowing. All I know is that I have never had a valid explanation for what it was, and it was scary. We were hiking with friends and my sister and I got separated from the group as we stopped to look at the night sky. It was a gorgeous summer night, very clear. I remember being able to see the huge array of stars ascending over the sky, like a carefully crafted mantle made out of glitter. We stopped on a high rock, and when we turned around to continue our way up the trail, we saw this little person about 200 meters away from us. We stopped cold and didn't move for a while. Then the little person kind of waved and started walking with high speed towards the forest part of the park, away from the rocky mountain. I will never forget, and to this day I avoid going hiking by myself or late at night. I couldn't sleep for a few days. The figure was thin, with long legs. I mean, his legs were too long for his body, and also when it sort of waved I noticed it had long fingers too. It had normal size eyes and no mouth, or at least none we could see. I don't know if it was aliens, but when I was 12 I was out in the woods behind my parents' house. I saw two large silver discs fly across the sky, low enough to the ground that I could tell that they were both close to the size of a house. They flew off out of sight, and I never could really explain it. 3 women were driving near Stanford, Kentucky when they were allegedly abducted by aliens. Afterwards, all 3 women were given hypnosis sessions, and all of them had the same story. They even took a lie detector test and passed with flying colours. At the very least, they all believed it happened. Strangers still, many people in the area reported a UFO sighting around the same time the women were abducted. A woman named Sonia believed that she was abducted, and days later she saw a helicopter that was piloted by a strange man in black. That same night her daughter complained about something pulling at her leg. After this, her husband put up CCTVs in the house to record any further happenings, but really just to make his wife feel better. Some who saw the video believed her story, but others may not be so easily convinced. The video shows her disappearing, which isn't hard to fake in a video. One night, Betty and Barney Hill was driving home from their vacation in Canada. They saw what they first assumed was a shooting star until it moved upwards. The 2 of them got out the car, curiosity taking over their sense of reason for a moment. Whilst they were looking at the UFO, it suddenly reared right at them. Naturally, the 2 rushed back to their car and took off, but this wasn't the end of their experience. They claimed to have lost 2 hours they cannot account for. They recalled repressing memories of an abduction whilst they were hypnotized, and both claimed that their watches stopped after the incident. Jesse Leung was just 5 years old when he says he was abducted by aliens for the first time. He was exploring the woods with his brother when they came upon a round sculpture in a clearing. A tall figure appeared and paralyzed the boys. Jesse remembers being taken into the craft and was placed on a cold table. He could feel the figures around him poking and prodding his legs. Over the next few years, Jesse says he was abducted repeatedly. He claimed he was experimented on, including having sperm extracted that was used to crossbreed with a female alien. In 1990, he says the aliens presented him with a baby, which they said was his. He also met 9 more of his hybrid children. Jesse, now 65, says he knows many people won't believe his story, but insist he is telling the truth. On November 5th, 1975, me and 6 other men were leaving work in a remote forest, and we encountered an unidentified flying object, and I was taken aboard. My co-workers were accused of murdering me and making up a story to cover up for why I was missing. The state police gave them a lie detector test, and even though they passed, ever since then it's been one sort of attempt to explain it away any way they could. If you are going to pass judgment on it, get the facts first. They didn't probe me, they didn't do nothing, they just opened up my eyes. It was kinda crazy because before that I asked for something like this to happen, just for proof, and I got it. You know, it was there, it happened. All my life I've had visions, which I could never control. I was originally abducted when I was 16 years old. I was lifted up into the air. There was no gravity. I could see these tall grey aliens on my right hand side talking to each other. It was more of a gargling sound. It was very hard to describe. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe for more content.